the champion. Oh, deep six. That could be it. Delivers this deep six.
Good evening. This is episode 80, and I am joined by my co-host Tommy, my co-host Gage, and the returning Justin. How are you, man?
Oh, hanging in there, living the dream.
80 episodes, Tommy.
Man, that's crazy. You know, we keep talking about it every time we reach a new milestone, how fast it seems it's been going. But 80 episodes, man. I think we've done maybe close to 60, 65 together.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna jump right in. We have a crazy weekend up here in New York. Predictions anywhere up to 2 feet of snow. The nor'easter is just beginning. The ground is white. Just started snowing about a half hour ago over here. We are in for a big weekend over here. We got the NFL championship games on Sunday, and what's tomorrow night, Tommy? What's tomorrow night?
I think it's our favorite pay-per-view, the Royal Rumble.
The Royal Rumble tomorrow on a Saturday. How awesome is that?
Yeah, man. The first premium live event edition of the Royal Rumble. No more pay-per-views.
As I've mentioned before, this is the first time there is a Royal Rumble on a Saturday night since 1994.
That's crazy.
I'm kind of glad they're doing it on a Saturday night.
Yeah, man, it makes it easier to watch instead of having to do it on Sunday.
We have a comment by Darla. Frank Manzo, I'll let the cat out of the bag, is coming back tomorrow night for a post-show. I am looking forward to a Manzo rant. It is happening tomorrow night, immediately after the Royal Rumble. But yes, this is Royal Rumble weekend. And you know what that means? This is WrestleMania season, and boy, do we got a lot to cover. A lot of wild predictions out there. I mean, people fantasy booking with the whole IWC world, with the Forbidden Door and everything. It is just crazy. But let's dive right into it. Why don't we? Darla, I hope you're going to be watching tomorrow. Come join us. We look forward to it. But anyhow, Tommy, starting with you. We got the WWE Championship match. Brock Lesnar defending against Bobby Lashley. And what's been a pretty decent feud. We've seen Brock Lesnar on TV a little bit more often, unlike his last title run. How do you feel about this match? They built it up pretty well with the vignettes. Bobby Lashley stating that Brock Lesnar's been dodging him all these years. We've never seen this match that I can think of, unless maybe it happened in an octagon.
No, it didn't. They haven't fought one-on-one ever, and I think that's good. I think, like you said, it's we haven't seen this match, and especially in today's WWE, we've run into that problem of seeing the same matches every single week. You know, Street Profits and Viking Raiders or something like that. So, getting a fresh matchup, especially between two kind of stars in the business right now and two of the more recognizable names on the roster, I think that's great. And obviously, I mean, Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. I mean, two big meaty boys slapping meat, as they say. You know, it's going to be good to watch this. And I love, like you said, Lesnar's been on TV a lot more recently. We just saw him with the Cowboy Brock outfit, wearing the cowboy hat. And I love that. I think it's good to see him be able to kind of be himself and kind of go back to that 2002 to 2004 run where he actually, you know, spoke. But I'm excited for this match. I still think Lesnar's going to take it. I really don't see a change, and I still think they're going to try and work their way to Roman versus Lesnar at WrestleMania. But this should be a good car crash of a match. Hopefully they get a little bit longer than 10, 12 minutes or something. I'm really hoping it's not a squash by Lesnar, especially with how much work they've put into building up Bobby Lashley as a credible opponent.
Definitely not a squash. Justin, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is something that's honestly been building for, since Bobby Lashley came back to WWE. I know it was something that everybody wanted to see when he first came back. And his run kind of been up and down, but now over the last year, however long it's been, they've really built him up. I think Lesnar does take it. But with these two guys, they're big, they're athletic, they're monsters of humans. So I think there can be a really good match if they let it go.
Gage, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, Tommy and Justin said it better than I could. I mean, it's pretty straightforward right now. They've hyped this matchup for so long. And I just personally hope that, like Tommy said, that they're going to get a good amount of time. They're going to be able to have a good match and it won't be a squash. I feel like, they're two very, very talented wrestlers, and being put in this position, they shouldn't be taken lightly, and they should get a lot in. And I think Brock is going to win. Like Tommy said, they're going to set up Brock versus Reigns. They've been doing it for the longest time. And I feel like it's just going to be something that we've all been waiting for, and I hope it really pays off.
All right, so we got a comment here. Brock wins, and then Lashley wins the Rumble.
I don't know if the fans would be too receptive to that one. I feel like that would be a few people would be a little upset about that.
Dave, I want you to expand on that, and I'll post your next comment. But I want you to answer this question: who does Lashley go against at WrestleMania? Who do you put him up against?
You ain't gonna do it against Rollins, who I'd expect to win against Reigns. I don't know. I'll be interested to see what Dave has to say on that one.
So this is really a tough one for me to call. Same thing with like the men's championship match, the Rumble. I have a feeling that they want to work their way to Lesnar Reigns at Mania. I'm not too sure how you do that. I'm thinking you use night 1 and night 2 scenario.
No, I think there's a pretty easy way to get there. I think you just have Rollins win, or Lesnar comes out later in the night and cost Rollins or cost Reigns the match against Rollins, and then you have Reigns enter at number 30 and win the Rumble, and then he goes off and challenges Lesnar. That's how I'd book it, at least. I guess I'm kind of spoiling my picks.
Well, we'll get back to the men's Rumble match in a second, but do you guys all think Lesnar walks out of this match with Lashley, the title holder still?
Yeah, I think there's a consensus on that. Yeah,
Lesnar. Yeah,
I think
pretty straightforward.
So. Okay, and Dave, I know you're watching. I want to hear your idea.
Yeah.
If Brock wins, then Lashley wins the Rumble. So I'm not too sure if I have Lashley win the Rumble, to be honest. But
that would be I would be interested to see the reaction. I feel like that would be the best part of it.
All right, you know what? We'll go right into that was next anyway. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. I'm not too sure if I have Roman even dropping the belt.
Okay, then I'll ask you.
This is kind of another. Close. I think Roman Reigns, if they go through a whole title unification thing, and they get to Mania, Lesnar, Reigns, I think Reigns reigns supreme, no pun intended, and I think he might be like a 2-year title holder in the making. I just don't. Roman Reigns' title run's been so good. I just don't know if I see him dropping it. Like who? Like unless they're trying to make somebody,
but
who's worthy of beating Reigns right now?
You don't think Seth Rollins is? You don't think Seth Rollins is worthy of that? I mean, of the top 5 stars in the WWE, would you say that Seth Rollins is one of those 5?
Not at the Rumble. I think Reigns dropping it's got to be a Mania thing. I think I'm with Wayne there. I think
Reins
takes it. I don't know if they do title versus title. or even if they don't make it a title match between Reigns and Lesnar. But you got to have the belts defended, so it's hard to say for sure. But I don't think he drops it at the Rumble.
Okay, then. So let me get both of your answers on this. Are you only going to have 3 world title matches at WrestleMania over 2 nights? You're going to have 2 women's title matches and a 1 unification match or whatever they do? Because you got to do.
I don't know if they do a unification match even. I mean,
then how do you get Lesnar and Reigns?
It could be something I don't even know, but I think Mania is just like where, you know, the you beat the raid boss, you know, that's the place to do it, whether it's Lesnar or Reigns losing, and then night 2 something happens and bada bing bada boom.
I'm with Tommy right now.
Yes.
I don't think Reigns is winning the Rumble, but Reigns is going to
for now,
find
he's
a
not
way.
even in the match, so we can't just assume he's in the match.
He'll
be in the match.
But Tommy said that he thinks that he's going to drop the title to Rollins, then be in the Rumble, win and fight Brock. I don't think that's going to happen. I do think there's a possibility he drops the title to Rollins, and then the winner of the Rumble wrestles Rollins, and Reigns and Lesnar are feuding right now.
Correct.
There really isn't a need for Reigns to win the Rumble in order for them to have their title match for the WWE title at Mania.
Yeah, I agree. There's a story
with Lesnar Reigns is Lesnar was the one chasing Reigns.
Correct.
So it's not going to be.
So he'll get his
Reigns
match
chasing Lesnar.
But Lesnar also replaced Reigns in the day 1, so they could do the story that, you know, Lesnar.
And now since Reigns has no title, he wants Lesnar's title.
Yeah.
So now he wants to fight Lesnar.
Reigns never beat Lesnar. Like, they never actually had their match, so now they get to have a WrestleMania match. I see what you did. I agree with you, Gage. I think if whether Roman is in the Rumble or not, you could still get to Lesnar Reigns. But I do see. I do think that Rollins is the only person on the roster right now that can believably, with a story behind it, with the whole, you know, we built the Shield together, all that stuff, the whole history of everything. I think he's the only person who could actually beat Reigns at a top 2 pay-per-view and it be believable and still get to where you want to get it at WrestleMania.
I agree.
However, in that point, you have to make, if you're going to give the title to Rollins, whether it's a long title reign or just the short to Mania one, the winner of the Rumble has to be somebody fresh. We can't see. I feel like there's got to be a surprise winner if it's not Reigns.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, but man, it should be a good match. I'm really excited for this one. I love Rollins and Reigns anytime they've met, and Seth Rollins is. I feel like you can't speak enough of how good he is in the ring. I feel like every time I've seen a match of his, he's stolen the show, and I don't expect anything different.
Yeah, it's really kind of hard for me to gauge who's even winning these matches this year, because a lot of the plans have been kind of kept on a wrap for the most part. I really do believe that somehow they are getting to Lesnar Reigns. I feel like that's happening. And Tommy, you made mention for a 2-night WrestleMania. Like I said, if they do one title match, I'm thinking that a winner of night 1 could go and face night 2 and then do title unification there. Okay. It would just be something different, kind of like a WrestleMania 10 scenario.
Hey, yeah, I mean, I'm all for different, and I think we'll see a lot of that over the next few years, and especially even this year with how they use both nights of WrestleMania, and, you know, like you said, one night, you know, have this, and then the winner goes on to face the next night, and I'm excited to see the possibilities with that, but I don't know.
Because you got this, you got the winner of the Royal Rumble,
mm-hmm.
Okay, whomever that may be. You have a Reigns still walking out as champion, Lesnar still walking out as champion. They both still want to fight each other, mostly Lesnar being the one chasing after Reigns. But then you got the Royal Rumble winner that's like, hey, I get a chance to pick my title that I want to go for. So that's how you can get to a night 1, night 2 scenario. Night 1, You got one title match, and then if Lesnar wins, gets to Roman Reigns for night 2, and there you go. Something like that.
Okay. I can see that.
Something like that.
I see what you're putting down.
I'm just trying to figure out how they could be creative with the 2-night WrestleMania.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's something that makes this year's Rumble in particular exciting is we don't know what is going to happen between the Rumble and leading up to Mania. There's so many things that could be or could not be. There's so many different scenarios that could play out.
And it's the first Rumble with fans since before the pandemic started.
So the way I see it is Roman Reigns' run has been so good that you can roll him into SummerSlam and have him be a 2-year champion. I think he's going to come out shining more than anybody out of this. The problem is with Roman Reigns' title run, though, is it's gotten so good. He's been so good at what he's done, is that it's kind of hard. And you can state a case for Seth Rollins, and then other than Lesnar, like who else do you have out of Seth Rollins and Lesnar to beat Roman Reigns? You didn't have this problem a year ago. You could have had Kevin Owens take the title off him. You could have had maybe Finn Balor a year ago, maybe even Cesaro. There was a lot of options there, but WWE didn't want to pull the trigger, and his title reign has been so good that and it's going on 2 years almost. Like how at this point, how do you have somebody beat Reigns? Like who do you have to beat Reigns? Or do you use Reigns' loss wisely to build up a new superstar? Like maybe a Braun Breaker that comes up.
Oh boy. Braun Breaker.
So they can get really creative with this. And listen, those of you guys that are watching, you heard that here first, by the way.
Hey man, if they change his name to Braun Steiner.
You could use Roman Reigns' loss very wisely here. You may as well just ride it out for another 6 months and build up somebody, and instantly make a star by having somebody beat Reigns on their first try.
Do you think he'd do like a Steiner math promo? I'd be okay with that. Count how many days it's been since he's been champion or something.
Yeah, it's Reigns is over 500 days, and I think it's like close to 520.
Jeez, that is weird to think about.
Yeah.
So I honestly, just to recap, I honestly don't have the men's titles changing here.
Neither
I
of
think
them.
I'm in agreement.
I think the Royal Rumble winner is going to be somehow ingrained into this Roman Reigns Lesnar feud. So I guess this will remain to be seen. A lot of surprises. Let's get to Becky Lynch versus Dewdrop. I do not have Dewdrop winning this title. She should just ditch her name, by the way. She needs to go back to Piper Niven already.
Yeah.
She may want to, but Vince doesn't.
I feel like this feud between Becky Lynch and Dewdrop is just something to do for Becky Lynch to kind of, get on to the road to WrestleMania. Justin, I think you could agree that Becky Lynch is walking out of here, champ.
Yeah, it feels just like a placeholder match just to have her there.
Yeah. I feel like they're going to build it up where Becky Lynch just escapes the Royal Rumble with the belt. I think they're going to give Piper Niven a good showing. I would say a solid 15 minutes. Gage, any thoughts on this feud?
I mean, it's a slow build. Like Justin said, it's a filler match. It's like a stepping stone match to give Becky another win, give her another title defense, and just, set her up for that bigger match at WrestleMania that they're going to end up doing.
Yeah, I think we can all agree. I think this is another consensus pick that Becky Lynch is walking out of here with the title.
Yeah. So let's segue to, while we're talking about the women, let's segue to the women's Royal Rumble match. We got Liv Morgan, who's been chasing for a little while. We've had Bianca Belair, who's kind of been a little bit on the back burner. It's like, it's almost as if like WWE wants you to forget about her, but not, and then all of a sudden, maybe out of nowhere, she wins. I could see something like that happening. But let's do the rundown. Let's see what the list we have. Bianca Belair, we have Liv Morgan, Charlotte Flair is in the Rumble.
Ugh.
And
Damn
that's just the
it.
listing that I see. I don't know
If
why
she-
she's a SmackDown champion.
My voice just cracked. But if she wins tomorrow, you think Manzo's gonna have a rant?
Yeah.
Tommy's gonna have
There-
a
there-
damn
there-
rant.
If Charlotte wins tomorrow, there has to be a purpose to it. And
No,
it would be to
there is no
merge-
purpose that you
We're
It
can
would
talking
be
sell
about
to me.
unifications.
It would be to work. It would be to merge to women's titles. That would be the only
No.
purpose that this would serve.
It better
And-
not happen.
About unifications. No.
I will
Naomi.
riot. If Charlotte wins, I riot.
Yeah, we have Naomi, Ria Ripley. Ria Ripley's been goober for the past couple months now. Nikki ASH, supposedly the Bella Twins, Carmella, Queen Zelina, Lita. This could be a potential dark horse. Michelle McCool, Kelly, Dana Brooke. Boy, did Dana Brooke look like a nerd the other night. Unbelievable. Natalia, Mickey James. We'll talk about Mickey James in a second.
Yeah.
Tamina, Shayna Baszler, the Hall of Fame legend Summer Rae, and we got Aaliyah and Shotzi. So let's talk Mickey James. Like it's the one of the few wrestlers I care about talking about in this whole list. She cut a promo on Impact, saying she's gonna walk in there with the TNA title. I don't know if she said that, but she's gonna walk in there as the TNA champion. And be in the WWE Royal Rumble, cutting this promo in an Impact ring, by the way, which is awesome, and saying that she's going to be the first person ever to be a current TNA champion and win the Rumble and win the WWE Women's title at WrestleMania, whether it be Raw, SmackDown, I don't know. But I thought that was a pretty cool promo that she cut on Impact. Did any of you guys see that?
Yeah.
I was
dude.
marking out.
Dude, you know, I'll give my prediction away here, just because I know we're about to all give them. But
Well, yeah, go for it. I already gave all the names.
She's
Go for
not
it.
my winner. I'm gonna go with the returning Ronda Rousey. But hear me out. What a giant middle finger WWE would be showing, and basically being like, "Come on, AEW, like you want to have a war, like we'll have one." If they let Mickey James win the Rumble. She's never won one in her career. It would be completely busting open this forbidden door that we've been talking about. And she'd kind of be a fresh challenger for, you know, whatever title she goes after. And also you're bringing way more, you know, eyes watching Impact Wrestling. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think that would be an absolutely awesome moment, something that a lot of people wouldn't expect.
And they could do that, and I'll tell you why in a second after we hear from the other two. But they could do that.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. I think Mickey James being in there, even if, you know, I don't think she takes a win there, but I think if they even give her like a decent run in the Rumble, like, you know, they don't necessarily have to protect her, but like giving her some where she's not just thrown out in 30 seconds or anything. Someone that I'd love to see win, just to kind of get her back into, you know, where she was when she was called up, Shayna Baszler. I think she deserves more than anything just to be just like badass back on the main event scene. It's been forever since she's been there, and I think she should be back. Absolutely.
And she hasn't been on TV in a while.
Yeah, I think bringing her, like, kind of putting her back in that spot where she was when she first called up. She should have won the Rumble in her first one when she got called up. I think that's something they made a mistake on. But I think bringing her back into that main event picture, again, brings a fresh face, gets somebody more new into that main event, because the women's division is kind of just rotates around the same few people. Would love to see her maybe pull it out.
You mean like Charlotte?
Oh, no, not her.
Oh. You mean the division runs around the same person?
Yeah.
Gage, who's your women's Royal Rumble winner?
My pick. Well, I mean, I always go to like my 5 most popular. I don't want to give 5, but like, they're obviously like, Tommy said a good one. Like Ronda Rousey could come back. There's some other returns that are being very rumored, like a possible Bailey coming back from injury. Apparently, she's around the time where she might be medically cleared to compete. Someone else that might be medically cleared to compete could possibly be a returning Paige coming back. I've heard a lot of. And then like those are like, the comeback wins that people, won't really see coming, and like they'll go to like, okay, here's the list of confirmed people in the Rumble. Choose who you think is going to win. I don't think it's going to be anybody from there. I think it's going to be a surprise entrant pick winning. And I think if it was going to be just a regular person that's always on TV, I can see Liv Morgan. I can see, Justin said Shayna Baszler, possible Rhea Ripley. People that really, are good contenders, but really haven't gotten that spotlight yet. But
I'm glad you didn't say Charlotte, because I would have not said that I wasn't going to do another
The only way they're
episode.
going to make Charlotte win is if, Wayne's prediction for the unification is correct.
It's not
They'll
happening.
unify Brock and Lesnar, and they'll also unify Becky.
Well, it's not really quite my prediction. That would be the only reason why you would have Charlotte win.
If she wins, Wayne,
the purpose of doing
done.
unification.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Otherwise, Charlotte doesn't have no business winning the Rumble. You can have propel somebody
I'm done
else.
with the podcast if she wins. I can't do it, man. I can't keep talking about Charlotte. If nobody knows, if you're new to the podcast, Tommy over here is not a big fan of Charlotte.
No, neither am I. We've shared many of frustrations over the past almost 2 years now. Anyhow,
Yes.
All right, so let me take a look at this list again. I have Liv Morgan as a very strong possibility for winning the Rumble. There hasn't been quite the proper payoff to her story to win the Raw Women's title. So I'm wondering if WWE is still kind of behind her push. I a couple weeks ago, I would have been fully behind Liv Morgan, but now with a lot of different components floating around, with the possibility of Ronda Rousey, Bailey coming back, maybe. I think it's still a little early, but then again, I'm not in the medical field, so I don't know. I'm not behind the scenes. But an ACL with her injury should have lined her up for about March, close to April. So she's ahead of schedule, then why not? So I'm not really too concerned about Bailey. I mean, that could be. That's definitely something to look out for sure. Let me see what else we got here. Rhea Ripley. She's kind of floundered in my opinion a little bit. I don't see any momentum behind her really. I'm gonna have to shoot that one down. Lita could be a potential dark horse.
That'd be interesting.
Becky
I'd be
versus
okay with
Lita
that.
would be pretty interesting for sure.
You wouldn't win.
Oh, Mickey James, man, let me tell you, that would break the internet if she wins the Rumble.
I'm hoping it happens,
Absolutely
man.
break the internet. So Shayna Baszler, I mean, yeah, I would like to see her win. I'd like to see WWE do something with Shayna. She hasn't been on TV. It's been kind of quiet lately, so it could be kind of one of those things that's sort of out of nowhere, but not. But it would be nice to see her win. Now Ronda Rousey, if she's a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble match, I mean she's got to be the winner here.
Yeah, she's winning if she's in it.
If she's in it, I think we could all assume that she's winning the Rumble if she's in the match. But you don't need to have her in the Royal match to build to where you want to go.
Right.
I would imagine she wants to chase after Becky, though. So that would kind of put a squash to any ideas with Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair. Yeah, you know what? Ronda Rousey, we're kind of just assuming that she's going to go after Becky. I mean, Ronda Rousey could, for all we know, go after Charlotte at WrestleMania.
And
And
win
get
and
that
beat
title,
Charlotte. Yes, that would be great.
and then have Ronda Rousey on SmackDown because Fox would love that.
Yeah.
And then you have Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair toss each other over the top rope, 1994 style, Lex Luger and Bret Hart, and have the both of them challenge Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. You can even do Bianca Belair versus Liv Morgan at night one, and the winner faces Becky Lynch at night two. Again, utilizing the two nights for storytelling purposes. You could do something like that, and then have Ronda Rousey maybe show up, but maybe to get Charlotte out of the Royal Rumble match, and then start that feud, and then have your Royal Rumble winner go against Becky Lynch. What do you guys think?
Okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah,
Possible.
definitely. I mean, definitely something could happen. Yeah, I mean, when you look back at the triple threat they had, I mean, Becky did pin Ronda Rousey, but Charlotte Flair was there as well, so it makes sense both ways. I think it makes more sense for her to, go after Becky for that reason, but absolutely a reason to challenge Charlotte as well.
For sure. So I mean, those are kind of my predictions of what could happen. We'd have to see, because again, with Liv Morgan, I just feel like you can't just squash Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair. They kind of have this thing going right now with Becky for a couple months now. So hey, we got Everything Pro Wrestling podcast. Thank you so much for hopping in. How you guys doing over there? You guys are always tearing it up. So yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. I really like the Mickey James thing.
Yeah, man, I'm behind it.
Really like. Oh my gosh, if that happens, like I said,
The internet
that would be.
the internet's going
It
to
would
be broken.
explode.
We're
I
not
mean,
going to be able to sign on to our podcast.
Yeah, that would
I mean,
be.
I think if she even like the last four in that or something crazy where she's close, it would still be incredible.
Okay, so now let me ask you guys this: who's the last four participants for the Women's Royal Rumble before we talk about the men?
Bayley, Charlotte, Lita, and Mickey.
You gotta believe Mickey's gonna be in there to, at the very least, tease the fans.
I think Lita.
I think you have to have Mickey as the last two.
Yeah, I agree.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Oh goodness, there's so many good ones that it could be. Just going off my prediction, we'll say Baszler, Morgan, Mickey James. I like that. We'll stick with that, and maybe like a Ria Ripley, just to kind of get her back in the swing of things too.
I'm gonna go with probably Ronda Rousey.
I forgot I picked Ronda.
well, that's assuming she's in the match. She doesn't even need to be in the match if you ask me. But she can just appear.
If
probably Ronda Rousey, Mickey James. I don't think Lita's gonna be in Final Four.
Yeah, if Rousey's in it, swap out Lita for me.
Yeah. Possibly Bayley, and then maybe like a Ria Ripley or a Shayna Baszler, like a bigger, stronger contender.
So you don't have Liv Morgan and or Bianca Belair close to the Final Four?
No.
Really?
I'd put money on that.
Oh wow! I wouldn't do that, but
I don't. I think that it's hard. They're good babyface contenders for Becky, but Becky's beaten them both already. Becky, I think, should move on right now. Go to somebody like, a Ronda Rousey, maybe a Paige, a Bayley, somebody that's more new, more fresh, and possibly drop the title so the Bianca Belairs and the Liv Morgans can fight somebody newer, if that makes sense.
So they have somebody that they can beat for the
So they can
title.
do a fresh start, take Becky off of TV a little bit, be a mom, maybe just have her come in for a couple rematches, maybe do a couple multi-woman matches, and then just have her stay out of it for a bit.
I can get behind that.
Where I'm at.
All right, so gun to my head. Assuming, let's just pretend Ronda Rousey's not in the match. Gun to my head, I got Liv Morgan and or Bianca Belair winning. Tommy, gun to your head, who wins Saturday night?
Ronda or Mickey?
Okay. Justin?
Oh goodness, I know who I want it to be with
And
with Baszler.
what kind of gun is to your head? I want to know the exact model.
I would love it for it to be Baszler. I don't think it's what happens. It's probably going to be a Liv Morgan or Bianca Belair, if I had to guess.
Okay.
Wow, way to be original.
And Gage.
Liv Morgan's a better pick than Bianca Belair just because Bianca won it last year. I don't think they're gonna make her win it back to back. I gotta hold steady at Ronda. I think Ronda and Becky.
Because you think she's gonna be in the match?
Many times they're finally gonna do it.
Okay.
She's the betting favorite to win, so I would have to assume she's gonna be in it.
She's a strong contender.
If not now, when? Like, are you gonna wait all the way till next year to bring her back?
That's even if she wants to come back. There's
Exactly.
a lot. Yeah, that's like a lot of people. The things that she came out and said. Then it'll work or not. Nobody really knows. But if she even wants to come back, that's the biggest thing with her.
And she just recently became a mother.
No, Bianca Belair she's definitely not winning.
You heard it here first, folks.
Who just became a mother?
Ronda.
Oh, okay. I thought you said like Gage.
Yeah, with
Bianca Belair.
with
no Bianca
Travis
Belair.
Brownie.
She's not winning.
You heard it here first, folks. Gage is putting money on Bianca Belair not winning.
Yes. How much?
$5.
I'll do it. $5 is funny. Yeah,
Okay.
$5.
We're making a little deep six. The first deep six pro wrestling bet in history.
I'm okay with
$5
that.
Even though I'm not even picking her, $5 Bianca doesn't win.
I'm okay.
All right, men's Royal Rumble. Oh, we got the men's Royal Rumble with
Excuse me.
potentially could involve members of either championship match, like rumored.
Oh, it could involve some members of some other things too.
Yeah,
Maybe a few other companies.
yeah. We got confirmed in the match. We got Omos, Randy Orton, Matt Riddle, Otis, Chad Gable, Ziggler, Robert Roode, Kevin Owens, Big E, AJ Styles, Damian Priest, whom a couple months ago I thought was heating up and could possibly get the winning spot at the Royal Rumble this year, which is still a possibility as far as in my opinion goes. Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn, Kofi Kingston, Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss, Sheamus, Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford, Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, Austin Theory. I gotta tell you, out of that list, I honestly don't see anybody on that list winning the Royal Rumble.
Why?
Really?
I don't know. I'm looking at these names. I'm like, I mean, your favorites right now got to be maybe Damian Priest. Maybe they have a plan for AJ Styles.
Okay. See, that's my pick. I think
Big
AJ,
E.
and I'm gonna go with AJ because he hasn't won a Rumble, and him versus Seth Rollins. If it's not Roman, I know I said Roman earlier, but if it's not Roman, you go with AJ because if you're trying to get to another match for Rollins, I think AJ and Rollins is this really solid match that we could see at WrestleMania. You put it on either of the cards, and it's honestly they haven't fought. I don't think they've had a match against each other.
Money in the Bank.
Okay, I'm sure it was good.
2019.
I hope it was good at
Maybe
least.
2018.
You got Austin Theory on that list. Who,
No,
in my opinion, is going to be
I don't
Final
like-
Four. Final Four.
I could see that, but he better not win.
No, I don't think he's winning.
Now, let me
I don't
tell
think
you.
that-
Now, I don't know if anybody's been keeping up with AEW Dynamite, but a certain former WWE superstar who went under a gimmick name lost his TNT title this Wednesday.
Yeah.
So with the Forbidden Door, I'm calling it right now. Stardust is making a run.
I think I would not be surprised.
I'm telling you,
I would not be surprised if Stardust shows up.
If he had won against Sammy Guevara, I wouldn't even entertain it. And I know it's probably stupid to even entertain it right now, but
Yeah, not really. I was entertaining it like a what if. It's like a fantasy book type of thing.
the way him losing and still being able to have Cody Rhodes as his person, or even if he came out as Fuego 2 or whatever. And I know I said, oh, giant middle finger if they brought Mickie James and let her win. If AEW and WWE collaborated in any way, whether it's Jericho, whether it's Rhodes, I promise you the internet will lose their minds tomorrow. And it will be a moment in wrestling history that few moments have been able to live up to. Because I think that's going to be an insane, whether it's a good pop or not, I think that's just going to be a crazy moment.
Oh, and not to mention with Jericho, he's already gone to the Forbidden Door already, while on AEW contract, on the Stone Cold Steve Austin Broken Skulls podcast, whatever you want to call that, which was aired on WWE Network.
Good
so who's to say that can't happen?
Yeah, if it's gonna be anybody, most likely
that's
be Jericho.
That's
because
it.
He still has a great relationship with Vince. So
yeah, I wouldn't go out of control outside of the possibility of maybe Stardust, Jericho, maybe even a Nick Aldis because of Mickie James. But that's it. Like I'm not raising the bar any higher than that because I don't want to be disappointed.
I'm hoping we see one person from another company in both matches.
That would be
I'm
awesome.
hoping that there's a surprise men entrance, whether it's Moose. I know he's been talking about wanting to face Lesnar. Whether it's, like you said, whether it's somebody from AEW like Jericho or Cody Rhodes or whatever. There's room for a person from another company to be in both matches.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in the 1 in a million chance, Seth Rollins did name drop Jon Moxley in a promo, so that's a vague possibility.
Awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Like I said, it could happen. It would be really nice to see WWE work with these other companies. I think it's good for everybody, in my opinion. But we can't. WWE, I've learned all these years to not to give my hopes up on this stuff.
Yeah, I think even some of the names that happen, like a Jericho or Moose or anything like that, I still think it's a very, very slim chance.
I honestly don't think that. Just the way that WWE's booked stuff in the past, I don't think any of them show up. But there is the possibility. I wouldn't rule it out.
There's a possibility, and the fact that there is a possibility is insane. I think that's something that we're kind of not talking about, is that the fact that this is even a thing that we're talking about is really, really cool. And the fact that there's a company that's pushing WWE to do this and also doing it themselves with New Japan and even Impact a little bit. It's been a really good time to be a wrestling fan the last few years.
It's just cool to see. Even if nothing comes of it, it's cool to see. But then if it doesn't happen, it's going to be a little bit disappointing.
Exactly. They put themselves in a corner by announcing Mickie James. I think and I know that they've been promoting it on Impact too, but I think if you would have had her be a surprise entrant, the roof would have blown off the building in St. Louis.
So, Gage, I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this list.
Man. I'm looking
at the list that I mentioned. And I feel like Randy, AJ Styles, or Damian Priest are the three that jump out at me. Is Drew McIntyre Yeah, he's even.
McIntyre's still going to be out.
He might be out. He could be a surprise entrant. I don't know. SmackDown's on as we speak. I don't think he'll be on that show, but who knows what's going on there. But nothing's really jumping out at me this year as far as the Royal Rumble winner goes.
Yeah, well, so I'm gonna say this now. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I am a full believer on absolutely nobody from AEW coming into that Royal Rumble whatsoever.
That's probably what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think we would all agree with you. There's just that faint hope in the back of the mind.
The only forbidden door entrant I can see happening is from Impact.
But would you be okay with that?
Mickey James scenarios. I can see the only person I can see is Moose, their world champion.
Yeah.
That's the only person I can see. I can see him coming in very, very late, possibly at, I would say, number 28-ish.
Wouldn't it be funny, though, if WWE had him thrown out within like a minute?
I personally think
you'd be messed up if they had Mickey James come in and out quicker than a bushwhacker.
Vince runs the company. He wants everybody to know.
I personally think that Moose comes in late, and I think because Rollins beats Reigns comes in at 30 and eliminates Moose.
I'd be okay with that, because that also sets up a, if you want to do something at like Bound for, this is being fantasy booking by, crazy standards, but if they ever did a, we'll send a WWE guy like Reigns
having WWE's biggest star
on
Impact's biggest star is a big thing to talk about.
And that's something that, like I said, you can set up for an Impact pay-per-view, kind of like they had Omega show up on, Impact. I think that you could do that and bring a lot of eyes. I mean, shit, if Roman Reigns was on Bound for Glory against Moose for the Impact title, you better believe I'd be watching Impact.
Yeah, me too. On possible winners, I'm the fan favorites I'm hearing about are Big E, possibly, because the whole thing the day one, how he when he lost his title, how he's gonna be able to come back and get it. I personally am a firm believer that I don't think he's gonna win, but I want to see him win just because I think he's deserving of that spot. Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I'd like to see Kevin too.
I think AJ Styles, like we said, AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins is, in my opinion, the most likely winner. He's definitely, I think has the best chance in my mind. He might be my pick.
And not to mention, he just split up with Omos, so you kind of need something for AJ to do.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big player that shouldn't be in the position that he's in my opinion. I feel like he deserves to be in that main event spot fighting for world titles because he's just that good. And especially, messing it around with Rollins, possibly making Rollins that placeholder per se to, give that title to AJ at Mania would be something that AJ can go into 2022 being the new Universal Champion. Wayne, I know you said Damian Priest. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. So I was at a Monday Night Raw recently, and I know me and my dad, we were sitting behind Damian Priest's family the entire night, talking to them. And his wife said that they're in talks of doing Damian Priest versus Roman Reigns soon. Don't know what that says, but I may or may not have had an inside look into possibly something. I don't know if that's going to happen, but,
Well, I mean, it's,
Come on, this man shot
I-
Arrow up in Army of the Dead, came up on the end of a Titantron. I
I
don't know if he needs to be
I
fighting Roman
I'm
anytime
not
I,
saying it's
I
gonna
think I
happen.
brought it up on a
I was
podcast before
there,
that Damian Priest had a little momentum a couple months ago. It wouldn't be surprised me. I feel like I don't know. I mean,
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think Damian Priest is like a top 3, top 4 favorite for sure.
What do you guys think?
I just don't know about now because he's still the current U.S. title holder. They may have a plan with that. But Gage, what do you say?
What do you guys think about? I know we're talking about the Forbidden Door and people coming from other companies, but what do you guys think about possible surprise entrants from the past coming in? You guys have any ideas?
Did you just say that Tatanka?
Hurricane?
Hurricane.
I mean, those would be fun. I mean, I think there's
Santino Marella, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a possibility that some of these guys that maybe still have a decent relationship with the company, or who, like for example, Braun Strowman, or his out of character name I can't remember for the Adam Sure. He doesn't want to work full time right now, but working events just in the indies right now.
Oh, Adam Sure or whatever.
Yeah,
they bring him back for the Rumble maybe a couple weeks after just to do a quick little hi bye kind of thing. Matt Cardona, that'd be awesome.
Oh, Cardona!
I don't think he'll be back, but it'd be awesome.
Cardona.
I think you could see guys like that coming back who were there.
Now that's both too. You're doing the Forbidden Door there, and you're doing, a past superstar. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you could.
And you don't have to
like
do
that.
Ryder. You could do Cardona, which is
I think
perfect.
I think it'd be better as Cardona. I think that'd
agree.
be better.
Yeah.
If he's on TV though, I don't think they acknowledge him as Cardona. I think they acknowledge him as Zack Ryder.
They probably would, but
yeah,
I would prefer it. Fantasy book that, but
for sure. Yeah,
I think you could see something like that. Of course, you always have the possibility of the legends coming back. That's always something that's fun. But
hey, there's always the opportunity of Taker. Taker's in town for his wife.
How about?
Nope.
John Cena is not showing up.
You don't think?
Nope. No. I made this comment to my roommate. The only way I would be accepting of John Cena showing up, and I love John Cena.
That's your boy.
That's my boy. However, if John Cena is in the Royal Rumble and he shows up in anything other than full Peacemaker costume, we're going to have a problem. I mean, he's got to have the toilet seat helmet. He's been in every interview I've seen with him wearing that outfit. The show is the most popular streaming show right now. If you're going to do it, bring him out in full regalia. Let him do the theme song entrance. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I highly, highly recommend it. But John Cena as the Peacemaker, now I can get behind him winning the Royal Rumble.
I don't know. That'd be really, really funny.
Has anybody here seen Peacemaker?
I have not. I want to watch it, though. I might watch it over the weekend.
Please watch it, and at least just watch the intro, because I promise you, it's great. It's the greatest. It's the greatest 20 seconds of your life.
I believe it.
That you'll never, ever get back.
Some people, like from the past that I've personally been hearing, a possible Santino Marella coming in because he has the shortest time record. Coming in and doing a little gag would be something that Vince would probably want.
Vince is gonna have him come back at Santino.
You never know.
You need more.
We need more women. Maybe he's in both Rumble matches. Maybe it's in both Rumble matches.
Now that would be quite a.
That'd be awesome.
That last year, right?
If they did that.
The first year.
Was that done already?
Was he done? Was he in both? I thought he was just in the women's match because Beth and Talia almost eliminated him, and then he gave himself the Cobra. Now, if he did both, I'd be okay. I think that would be a funny moment. Now, it
would be awesome.
The first year, right? The first year they did the Women's Royal Rumble, he did both.
I remember. I don't remember him being in the men's, but I honestly don't remember the men's from that year. But I do remember the elimination spot from the women's match.
He did.
Look, guys, let me ask you this. Here's a name that was not mentioned at all. That's on the list as maybe WWE might want to try to get behind. Is Omos?
No.
Why not?
Why?
Why?
No,
Yeah.
really not why.
What's
Not
your
why not?
reasoning
Why?
against-
You don't
Why?
think that Vince, being a lover of big men, is not going to try to go
That
that
can be
route
taken out of
eventually?
context.
I mean,
but
I don't think as winning, I could see him definitely being in there late, and having like 3 or 4 people throw him out. But I don't think they push him as a winner.
Or do you think Omos is going to be used as a tool in the Rumble match for the Royal Rumble winner to throw out?
He's
Yeah.
gonna get 3 eliminations maximum.
I think Omos is going to be in there for a little while. I think he's going to
Omos
take
could-
out 8 or 9 guys.
I could see him push. I think at least 5. I'm gonna go with 5.
I got 3 and under. Mark my words.
He's
Everything
putting more
I've
money
said
down.
today, go back, and if it happens, make sure I know about it. I'm calling it.
All right, so I mean, I'm looking at the list, and unless they pull some shenanigans and they pull talent from one of the title matches, just right now, I'd probably have to say Damian Priest and Big E is one of my top 2 to possibly win the Rumble match. It's kind of a tough call. I would have to see it as the night progresses, see who loses the title match. Maybe get an idea. Maybe they're going to be in the Royal Rumble match again later. It's a really tough call if they decide to do something like that. But just by going by the list, I might have to say like Priest, a Big E, or an AJ.
Okay.
And maybe like a Drew McIntyre. Maybe I would be. But outside of that, I'm looking at the list, and it's all tag teams, goobers, or like you got your Mysterios and Corbins and Madcap Moss.
Maybe this is when we set up the Mysterio versus Mysterio match. I don't know why you're calling them goobers. We're talking about the WWE 2K22 cover star.
We've been talking about that too. I feel like they're gonna do something with AJ and Dominic Mysterio. One's gonna turn on the other at one point. Father versus son at WrestleMania. We've been talking about it for almost a year, Tom.
I really hope that they understand. Like I hope if there's one thing that Vince McMahon is in tune with in the internet wrestling community, it's that if these 2 kids, if Ray and Dominic fight, it's got to be in a ladder match. I mean the continuity just got to be there.
I think it would be something like a Rey Mysterio, like a retirement match.
Yeah, Ray's retirement on a ladder match.
Yeah,
it's like a custody of Dom.
I got
Ray's retirement papers on a ladder.
I got Austin Theory, like I said, Final 4. But that's as high as I got him ranked. But like I said, I'm looking at most of this list. None of them win a Rumble, except for like the 3 that I mentioned. Anything that you guys may want to throw in as far as ideas of who could win the Rumble?
Yeah, I think those are definitely safe picks. Damian Priest, AJ, Big E. I mean, you could always throw Kevin Owens in the hat there. I mean, he's always towards the top of the card. Definitely a possibility. I think I would agree. There's not anybody on the list that pops, but I think there's a few people that could. I don't know. Hard to say for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a little bit of a tough list for me to go by, which leads me to believe that what we talked about earlier is that maybe somebody from one of the title matches is going to come in and win the match.
I'm telling you, Roman's doing it. So I'm going with.
I think I have AJ Styles winning.
Okay.
I think I have AJ Styles winning.
Hey, let me ask you guys this. Tommy, what's your favorite Royal Rumble of all time?
Oh boy. 07. Yeah, 07. Greatest last 2 ever. Almost 15-minute match between Michaels and Taker.
That was great.
Probably
we hadn't seen that in years.
If I remember, that's probably one of the first WWE DVDs I ever bought, and I remember watching that one a good bit. And yeah, man, that one's tough to beat for me. If not 07, I'd probably say 2001. Just because of the star power in that match, it's incredible.
How about you, Justin?
I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite. There's so many good ones. Like nostalgia. Rey Mysterio was my favorite wrestler growing up when he won. Cena's return in Madison Square Garden. Even
I was there for that. That was great.
Yeah, even during the pandemic with like Brock's running the Rumble and McIntyre wins, that was fun to watch.
That
There's so
was a
many good ones.
good moment.
I don't think I have a favorite. There's
We
just
watched
there's
that
a
one
bunch of good
together,
ones.
didn't we, Justin?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Lesnar. Yeah, 2019. That was a good one.
Okay, how about you? Your favorite Rumble?
Favorite is tough for me. I personally, I think it was like I think it was 2008 was the Batista and John Cena weird ending one. I think that was 2008, right?
05.
05? Okay, yeah, that one was
yeah,
good.
because that was setting up to 21,
Yeah,
WrestleMania 21.
Yeah. So I think 05 was a solid pick.
That was a good ass Rumble.
I think again, the John Cena at Madison Square Garden return was just a solid Rumble. Again, the 2020 one with Brock Lesnar reigning havoc was incredible storytelling. Yeah, I mean,
I got 1992.
Okay.
The reason being is because in 92, if you look at the names that's in that Royal Rumble match, it's the most stacked Royal Rumble match I've ever seen. Frank Manzo, who will be on tomorrow, was always raving about the 92 match. And then I'm looking at the list of participants in that match, and it's the most stacked roster.
Yeah, what
Meaning,
Ric Flair comes out at 3.
yeah, Ric Flair comes out at 3, wins the Rumble, but you have names from, so basically 92 is a transitional year. You had was a transitional year from golden era to the new generation, and 93 was a transitional year too. But 92
And 95.
you had Michaels in the Rumble. Like you had a lot of the newer guys that would carry the torch through the mid 90s, and like then you had Hogan, Sid, DiBiase, Ric Flair. These are all big names. The whole list. Big Boss Man, still a very big name, but he was never like main eventer.
My dad's favorite wrestler, Big Boss Man.
I like.
That's not the most accurate description of Big Boss Man
liked-
ever. My dad's favorite wrestler.
I liked the cop version of Big Boss Man. After
Yeah, that
there
was
no other Big Boss
See,
Man
there's
thing for me.
my dad was not a big wrestling fan, and one time we had one of the old WWF SmackDown games, and me and my older brother were the Brothers of Destruction, and as kids we didn't know how to play games, and my dad picked the Big Boss Man because he's from Georgia and he was a big Braves fan and he's a cop, and so he beat our ass, and ever since then he's been a big old Big Boss Man fan.
solid.
So those of you guys that are watching, check out the 92, and you guys take a look at the 92 list of participants, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's
Yeah, man.
stacked, big names. Anyhow, that's pretty much gonna wrap up our show, episode 80. Make sure, for those of you guys that are watching and listening, we're the Deep Six Pro Wrestling Podcast. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, Twitter, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. For those of you guys that are listening, make sure you are subscribed. This quite possibly could be the episode we are finishing up right now. Could be our last episode as the Deep Six umbrella.
Yeah, man.
So we might bust out the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast debut tomorrow night. So
You never know.
those of you guys that are watching, we're definitely gonna have Frank Manzo on. A huge episode tomorrow, immediately following the Rumble. We're gonna get started right away. We're gonna beat all these other podcasts and get to it right away. And review the Royal Rumble and predict the road to WrestleMania, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
So for those of you guys that are watching, make sure you share this with your friends. This will be on the podcast tonight as soon as we go off the air and getting this on the podcast. And for those of you guys that are listening, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you do not miss out tomorrow night's huge show. Probably going to be our biggest post show aside from WrestleMania. So I'm very excited about that. We're going to be snowed in. So tomorrow's going to be an awesome day. Hey, we got some football on Sunday. It's going to be a big weekend.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a good weekend.
WrestleMania season starts tomorrow. I cannot wait. Tommy Gage, as always, thank you so much for hopping on. Justin, thank you so much for coming on and joining us tonight.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be on camera with you tonight. But those of you guys that are watching, if you're in the New York area, like myself and Gage are, make
Yeah,
sure
stay
you guys
safe, man.
stay safe, stay off the roads, and let's
Enjoy
have
the
an
Royal
awesome
Rumble, man.
weekend.
Watch the Rumble,
Yeah.
come after, and enjoy the aftermath, the Deep Six podcast, whatever we decide to bring out tomorrow, man, and have a good weekend.
All right, guys, thank you so much, and you all have a great night.